Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. In today's documentary, we will be explaining all about cryptocurrency from the scratch. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to our channel. Alrighty, now let's have an insight into cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency has now attained a hype like never before. While it was almost unknown a decade ago, and looking from here, that is, a decade from now, it's going to manipulate the world with its ever-booming advanced banking features. But do you all know how, when, and where it started to get to where it is now? Before we jump into specific features, let us clearly understand what cryptocurrency is. What's cryptocurrency? What you first need to know is, it typically does not exist in physical form like paper money, and it's typically not issued by a central authority. So a cryptocurrency is a digital asset designed to work as a medium of exchange wherein individual ownership records are stored on a ledger existing in a form of computerized database using strong cryptography to secure transaction records, to control the creation of additional coins, and to verify the transfer of ownership. You can actually use crypto to buy regular goods and services. Although many people invest in cryptocurrencies as they would in other assets like stocks or precious metals, while cryptocurrency is a novel and exciting asset class, purchasing it can be risky as you must take on fair amount of research to fully understand how each system works. How does cryptocurrency work? First off, don't panic about its credibility since it's super encrypted. And yeah, as you all know, it's decentralized. Unlike the US dollar or the euro, there is no central authority that manages and maintains the value of a cryptocurrency. Instead, these tasks are broadly distributed among the cryptocurrency users via the internet. For starters, the currency is decentralized, meaning, unlike credit and debit, it is controlled solely by users and computer algorithms as opposed to a central bank or government. Digital coins can be obtained online for dollars, through the exchange of goods and services, or by trading already obtained cryptocurrencies for other cryptocurrencies. There are even Bitcoin ATMs or kiosks where users can purchase Bitcoin by using cash or debit. Cryptocurrency transactions are sent using the software called cryptocurrency wallets. The person who creates the transaction uses the wallet to transfer balance from one public address to another. Each transaction leads back to a unique set of keystrokes, and whoever owns that passcode owns the amount of cryptocurrency associated with it. All transactions and balances are recorded on a digital public ledger called a blockchain. Now, what's a blockchain? A blockchain is an open, distributed ledger that records transactions in code. In practice, it's a little like a checkbook that distributes across countless computers around the world. Transactions are recorded in blocks that are then linked together on a chain of previous cryptocurrency transactions. Imagine a book everywhere you write down everything you spend on each day. Each page is similar to a block, and the entire book, a group of pages, is a blockchain. With a blockchain, everyone who uses a cryptocurrency has their own copy of this book to create a unified transaction record. Software logs each new transaction as it happens, and every copy of the blockchain is updated simultaneously with the new information, keeping all records identical and accurate. The starting of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency invented in 2008. It was invented by the mysterious and pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto. The identity of the person or persons who created the technology is still a mystery. Bitcoin uses SHA-256, a cryptographic hash function, in its proof-of-work scheme. Wondering what cryptographic hash function is? A cryptographic hash function is an algorithm that takes an arbitrary amount of credential data input and produces a fixed-size output of enciphered text called a hash value, or just hash. That enciphered text can be stored instead of the password itself, and later used to verify the user. Cryptographic hashes take clear text passwords and turn them into enciphered text for storage. Attackers who access your database are forced to decipher those hash values if they want to exploit them. In other words, hashes slow down attackers. Now, let's understand what Bitcoin really is. Bitcoin is powered through a combination of peer-to-peer technology, a network of individuals, much like volunteer editors who create Wikipedia. It's a software-driven cryptography, the science of passing secret information that only can be read by senders and receivers. This creates a currency backed by code rather than items of physical value, like gold or silver, or by trust in central authorities like the US dollar or euro. How does Bitcoin specifically work? Each Bitcoin is a computer file stored in a digital wallet on a computer or smartphone. Bitcoin is powered by open source code known as blockchain, which creates a shared public ledger. Each transaction is a block that is chained to the code, creating a permanent record of each transaction. Blockchain technology is at the heart of more than 6,000 cryptocurrencies that have followed in Bitcoin's wake. The basics of blockchain technology are mercifully straightforward. Any given blockchain consists of a single chain of discrete blocks of information, arranged chronologically. In principle, this information can be any string of ones and zeros, meaning it could include emails, contracts, land titles, marriage certificates, or bond trades. In theory, any type of contract between two parties can be established on a blockchain as long as both parties agree on the contract. This takes away any need for a third party to be involved in any contract. This opens a world of possibilities, including peer-to-peer financial products like loans or decentralized savings and checking accounts, where banks or any intermediary is irrelevant. While Bitcoin's current goal is a store of a value as well as a payment system, there is nothing to say that Bitcoin could not be used in such a way in the future, though consensus would need to be reached to add these systems to Bitcoin. The main goal of Ethereum project is to have a platform where these smart contracts can occur, therefore creating a whole realm of decentralized financial products without any middlemen and the fees and potential data breaches that come along with it. Bitcoin is really just a list. Person A sent X Bitcoins to person B, who sent Y Bitcoins to person C. By tallying these transactions up, everyone knows where individual users stand. It's important to note that these transactions do not necessarily need to be done from human to human. Bitcoin's blockchain is distributed, meaning that it is public. Anyone can download it in its entirety or go to any number of sites that parse it. This means that the record is publicly available. But it also means that there are complicated measures in place for updating the blockchain ledger. There is no central authority to keep tabs on all Bitcoin transactions, so the participants themselves do so by creating and verifying blocks of transaction data. Secret key and public key encryption system. Secret key. Secret key encryption uses a single key to both encrypt and decrypt messages. As such, it must be present at both the source and the destination of transmission to allow the message to be transmitted securely and recovered upon receipt at the correct destination. The key must be kept secret by all parties involved in the communication. If the key fell into the hands of an attacker, they would then be able to interpret and decrypt messages, thus thwarting the attempt to attain secure communications by this method of encryption. Secret key algorithms like DES assert that even though it is theoretically possible to derive the secret key from the encrypted message alone, the quantities of computation involved in doing so make any attempts infeasible with current computing hardware. The Kerberos architecture is a system based on the use of secret key encryption. Public key. Public key systems use a pair of keys, each of which can decrypt the messages encrypted by the other, provided one of these keys is kept secret. Any communication encrypted using the corresponding public keys can be considered secure as the only person able to decrypt it holds the corresponding private key. The algorithmic properties of the encryption and decryption process makes it infeasible to derive a private key from a public key, an encrypted message, or a combination of both. RSA is an example of a public key algorithm for encryption and decryption. It can be used within a protocol framework to ensure that communication is secure and authentic. Bitcoin mining to check the legitimacy. Miners are doing the work of verifying the legitimacy of Bitcoin transactions. This convention is meant to keep Bitcoin users honest and was conceived by Bitcoin's founder, Satoshi Nakamoto. By verifying transactions, miners are helping to prevent the double spending problem. Double spending is a scenario in which a Bitcoin owner illicitly spends the same Bitcoin twice. With physical currency, this isn't an issue. Once you hand someone a $20 bill to buy a bottle of vodka, you no longer have it. So there is no danger that you could use the same $20 bill to buy lotto tickets next door. While there is a possibility of counterfeit cash being made, It is not exactly the same as literally spending the same dollar twice. With digital currency, however, as the Investopedia dictionary explains, there is a risk that the holder could make a copy of the digital token and send it to a merchant or another party while retaining the original. Let's say you had one legitimate $20 bill and one counterfeit of that same $20. If you were trying to spend both the real bill and the fake one, someone that took the trouble of looking at both of the bill's serial numbers would see that they were the same number, and thus one of them had to be false. What a Bitcoin miner does is analogous to that. They check transactions to make sure that users have not illegitimately tried to spend the same Bitcoin twice. Once miners have verified 1 MB worth of Bitcoin transactions, known as a block, those miners are eligible to be rewarded with a quantity of Bitcoin. The 1 MB limit was set by Satoshi Nakamoto and is a matter of controversy, as some miners believe the block size should be increased to accommodate more data, which would effectively mean that Bitcoin network could possess and verify transactions more quickly. In addition to lining the pockets of miners and supporting the Bitcoin ecosystem, mining serves another virtual purpose. It is the only way to release new cryptocurrency into circulation. In other words, miners are basically minting currency. For example, as of November 2020, there were around 18.5 million bitcoins in circulation. Aside from the coins minted via the Genesis block, every single one of those bitcoins came into being because of miners. In the absence of miners, Bitcoin as a network would still exist and be usable, but there would never be any additional Bitcoin. There will eventually come a time when Bitcoin mining ends per the Bitcoin protocol. The total number of Bitcoins will be capped at 21 million. However, because the rate of Bitcoin mined is reduced over time, the final Bitcoin won't be circulated until around the year 2140. This does not mean that the transaction will cease to be verified. Miners will continue to verify transactions and will be paid in fees for doing so in order to keep the integrity of Bitcoin's network. Let's once again get back to cryptography hash functions. To make generating Bitcoins difficult, the hashcash cost function is used. Hashcash is the first secure, efficiently verifiable cost function or proof of work function. The beauty of Hashcash is that it is non-interactive and has no secret keys that have to be managed by an actual central server or relying party. Hashcash is as a result fully distributed and infinitely scalable. Hashcash uses symmetric key cryptography, namely a one-way hashcash function, typically either SHA-1 or SHA-256. In Bitcoin, integrity, blockchaining, and the hashcash cost function all use SHA-256 as the underlying cryptographic hash function. A cryptographic hash function essentially takes input data, which can be of practically any size, and transforms it in an effectively impossible to reverse or to predict way into a relatively compact string. In the case of SHA-256, the hash is 32 bytes. Making the slightest change to the input data changes its hash unpredictability. So nobody can create a different block of data that gives exactly the same hash. Therefore, by being given a compact hash, you can confirm that it matches only a particular input datum. And in Bitcoin, the input data being a blockchain is significantly larger than the SHA-256 hash. This way, Bitcoin blocks don't have to contain serial numbers, as blocks can be identified by their hash, which serves the dual purpose of identification as well as integrity verification. An identification string that also provides its own integrity is called a self-certifying identifier. The hashcash difficulty factor is achieved by requiring that the hash output has a number of leading zeros, technically to allow more fine-grained control than the hashcash number of leading 0 bits method. Bitcoin extends the hashcash solution definition by treating the hash as a large big endian integer and checking that the integer is below a certain threshold. The hashcash cost function iterates by perturbing data in the block of a nonce value until the data in the block hashes to produce an integer below the threshold, which takes a lot of processing power. This low hash value for the block serves as an easily verifiable proof of work, and every node on the network can instantly verify that the block meets the required criteria. With this framework, we are able to achieve the essential functions of the Bitcoin system. Bitcoin's massive push in 2013. For the most part, Bitcoin investors have had a bumpy ride in the last 10 years. Apart from daily volatility, in which double-digit inclines and declines of its price are not common, they have had to contend with the numerous problems plaguing its ecosystem, from multiple scams and fraudsters to an absence of regulations that further feed into its volatility. In spite of all this, there are periods when the cryptocurrency's price changes have outpaced even their usually volatile swings, resulting in massive price bubbles. The first such instance occurred in 2011. Bitcoin's price jumped from $1 in April of that year to a peak of $32 in June, a gain of 3,200% within 3 short months. That steep ascent was followed by a sharp recession in crypto markets, and Bitcoin price bottomed out at $2 in November 2011. There was a marginal improvement the following year, and the price had risen from $4.8 in May to $13.2 by August 15. 2013 proved to be a decisive year for Bitcoin's price. The digital currency began the year trading at $13.4 and underwent 2 price bubbles in the same year. The first of these occurred when the price shot up to $220 by the beginning of April 2013. That swift increase was followed by an equally rapid deceleration in its price, and the cryptocurrency was changing hands at $70 in the mid of April. 2020, a blessed year for the cryptocurrency. It was not until 2020, when the economy shut down due to the pandemic, that Bitcoin's price burst into activity once again. The cryptocurrency started the year at $7,200. The pandemic shutdown and subsequent government policy fed into investors' fears about the global economy and accelerated Bitcoin's rise. At close on November 23rd, Bitcoin was trading for $18,353. The pandemic crushed much of the stock market in March, but the subsequent stimulus checks of up to $1,200 may have had a direct effect on the markets. Upon the release of those checks, the entire stock market, including cryptocurrency, saw a huge rebound from March lows and even continued past their previous all-time highs. These checks further amplified concerns over inflation and potentially weakening purchase power of the US dollar. Money printing by governments and central banks helped to bolster the narrative of Bitcoin as a store of value, as its supply is capped at 21 million. This narrative began to draw interest among institutions instead of just retail investors, who were largely responsible for the run-up in price in 2017. Continued institutional interest in the cryptocurrency further propelled its prices upward, and Bitcoin's price reached just under $24,000 in December 2020, an increase of 224% from the start of 2020. It took less than a month for Bitcoin to smash its previous price record and surpass $40,000 in January 2021. At its new peak, the cryptocurrency was changing hands at $41,528 on 8th of Jan 2021. 3 days later, however, it was at $30,528.3. Factors pushing the price of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency's most recent rally in 2020 occurred after several respected names in finance spoke approvingly of its potential to develop into a store of value to hedge fund against inflation from increased government spendings during the pandemic. The use of Bitcoin for the treasury management and companies also strengthened its price in 2020. MicroStrategy Inc. and Square Inc. have both announced commitments in using Bitcoins instead of cash as a part of their corporate treasuries. The price of Bitcoin since the May of 2020 having since an increase of nearly 300%. Previous halving events in 2012 and 2016 produced significantly larger price gains of 8,000% and 600% respectively. Among many factors, the halving in the reward given to miners that also doubles assets to stock to flow ratio seems to have a large effect on Bitcoin's price. Finally, economic instability is another indicator of price changes for Bitcoin. Since its inception, the cryptocurrency has positioned itself as a supranational hedge against local economic instability and government-controlled fiat currency. According to reports, there is a period of increased economic activity on Bitcoin's blockchain after an economy hits road bumps due to government policies. Countries like Venezuela, which have experienced hyperinflation of their currency, have seen huge increases in the use of Bitcoin as a means of transaction as well as storing wealth. This has led analysts to believe that the cryptocurrency's price increases and global economic turmoil are connected. For example, capital controls announced by the Chinese government were generally accompanied by an uptick in Bitcoin's price. The 2020 pandemic shutdown produced microeconomic instability on global scale and galvanized Bitcoin's price, resulting in a record rally. Apart from Bitcoin, there are Ethereum and Cardano. These seem to determine the financial mechanisms of the future. Now let's have a brief idea about Ethereum and Cardano. Ethereum. Launched in 2015, Ethereum is an open-source, blockchain-based, decentralized software platform used for its own cryptocurrency, Ether. It enables smart contracts and distributed applications to be built and run without any downtime, fraud, control, or interference from a third party. Ethereum is not just a platform but also a programming language running on a blockchain, helping developers to build and publish distributed applications. The applications run on Ethereum are run on a platform-specific cryptographic token, Ether. During 2014, Ethereum had launched a pre-scale for Ether which had received an overwhelming response. Ether is like a vehicle for moving around on the Ethereum platform and is mostly sought by developers looking to develop and run applications inside Ethereum. Ether is used broadly for two purposes. It is traded as digital currency exchange like other cryptocurrencies, and is used inside Ethereum to run applications and even monetize work. According to Ethereum, it can be used to codify, decentralize, secure, and trade just about anything. One of the biggest projects around Ethereum is Microsoft's partnership with Consensus, which offers Ethereum blockchain as a service on Microsoft Azure so enterprise clients and developers can have a single-click cloud-based blockchain developer environment. As of September 2019, Ethereum was the second largest virtual currency on the market, behind only Bitcoin. It is much faster to acquire Ether currency than Bitcoin, about 14 to 15 seconds to Bitcoin's near uniform 10 minutes. And there are far more Ether units in circulation than there is Bitcoin. Cardano. The platform began development in 2015 and was launched in 2017 by Charles Hoskinson, a co-founder of Ethereum and BitShares. The currency debuted with a market cap of $600 million. By the end of 2017, it had a market cap of $10 billion and reached a value of $33 billion briefly in 2018 before a general tightening of the crypto market dropped its value back to $10 billion. According to Mashable, Cardano claims that it overcomes existing problems in the crypto market, mainly that Bitcoin is too slow and inflexible, and that Ethereum is not safe or scalable. Cardano is considered a third-generation cryptocurrency by its creators. Cardano's internal cryptocurrency is called ADA. The development of the project is overseen and supervised by Cardano Foundation based in Zug, Switzerland. Cardano uses Ouroboros proof for stake of technology. In contrast, Bitcoin uses the proof-of-work ecosystem. Cardano uses only the first blockchain entry, whereafter the honest chain is proven locally without needing of a trusted party. Within the Cardano platform, ADA exists on the settlement layer. This layer is similar to Bitcoin and keeps track of transactions. The second layer is the computation layer. This layer is similar to Ethereum, enabling smart contracts and applications to run on the platform. Atypically, Cardano does not have a white paper. Instead, it uses design principles intended to improve upon issues faced by other cryptocurrencies, such as scalability, interoperability, and regulatory compliance. It is funded by an initial coin offering. Cardano's smart contract language allows developers to run end-to-end tests on their program without leaving the integrated development environment or deploying their code. In 2019, the Minister of Education of Georgia, Mikhail Beshiashvili, and Charles Hoskinson signed a memorandum of understanding with the Free University of Tbilisi to use Cardano and Atala to build a credential verifying system for Georgia. In 2018, Cardano teamed up with the Ethiopian government so Cardano can deploy the technology in a variety of industries throughout the country. IOHK, the company behind Cardano, donated $500,000 gift in ADA to the University of Wyoming to support the development of blockchain technology. Footwear manufacturer New Balance Athletics will use distribution ledger blockchain to track the authenticity of its newest basketball shoe. The platform will be built atop the Cardano blockchain. The role of cryptocurrency in the future. Will cryptocurrencies and the blockchains that underlie them solve our financial woes, or only worsen existing inequalities? Will it reign the future, or it's going to be forgotten long before it manifests its actual worth? Let us see how cryptocurrency is going to redefine the future of finance. Of course, we all know that cryptocurrency is a thriving ecosystem, quietly encroaching on conventional finance's territory. Over the last 5 years, Bitcoin users and transactions have averaged a growth rate of nearly 60% a year. Similarly, private and public investors have deepened their commitment to cryptocurrencies, including Ethereum, Cardano, Ripple, Stellar, and a number of others across the industry. Now there are over 5,000 cryptocurrencies in circulation, with many built on innovative applications and use cases as ecosystems rapidly evolves. Today's crypto offers cutting-edge advances that are diverse and transformative. In addition, it could be considered as an investment in tomorrow's financial system, decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is an emerging alternative financial system that is built on public blockchain, which enables greater accessibility because anyone has the ability to connect to it. Additionally, transactions are publicly visible, enabling greater transparency according to the system. Take a look at the practical advantages being applied across cryptocurrencies. Used for purchasing goods without the need of a trusted third party. As the total supply of many cryptocurrencies are limited, the scarcity influences their value. Digital money that is typically pegged to a currency or commodity such as gold. Cryptography, the technology behind crypto, can enable the anonymity of its owners, can empower those without access to a bank to enter the financial system. Bitcoin in particular shares similar attributes to money, a medium of exchange, unit of account, and store of value. Enables individuals to create apps without a central authority directly connecting the user and creator. As crypto continues to gain momentum, its longer-term implications will come into focus. Crucially, its cryptographic foundation sets the stage for future advances in finance. Privacy. Anonymized transactions protect user data through cryptographic techniques. Access. Providing a new financial model for 1.7 billion unbanked individuals around the world. Efficiency. Steep reductions in settlement time and efficacy could save customers $16 billion annually. Security, providing immutable, traceable records of security-rich transactional networks. Programmable money. Smart contracts could drastically eliminate manual and administrative work, ultimately bypassing them altogether. Rooted in decentralized and autonomous systems, cryptocurrencies are creating second-order effect in the financial world. Ultimately, cryptocurrencies are helping transform finance as we know it, unlocking countless investment opportunities across the global economy. And from the way it looks, it's on the verge of doing groundbreaking projects and is going to take over the world in no time. The future of cryptocurrency does not look bleak, and it is highly likely that it's going to completely fight the traditional banking method out. Cryptocurrency is waiting to pounce on the traditional banking method at any given chance and suck the hell out of it completely. If the COVID scenario persists any longer, then in no time cryptocurrency will have the crown snatched. Also, people are getting more accustomed to the advanced contemporary style of banking, and a majority of them will want to opt out for cryptocurrency once they have an insight into its functioning mechanism. So there is a huge probability of favor swinging on the side of cryptocurrency, where it will rule the future of finances nonchalantly. Well guys, there we have covered everything you ought to know about tomorrow's queen, cryptocurrency. Yes, and what do you think about its chances of existence? How far do you all think it will go? Do you think it's going to dictate the future of finances? Do let us know in the comment section below. And guys, if you found this video enlightening, don't forget to smash that like button and bell icon beside to stay notified. Well then, toodles.